of an alternative to the money system. People can just share, so you don't need money.
Don't need money.
And people can share land. You can stay on my land, mate. That's sweet. Camp here, that's cool. Come do free events. Use my car if you need it. That kind of thing, and then you don't need money.
Taking care of nature and study more about nature, then you don't have to spending money for medicine or buying like clothes. If you know all kind of tree or all nature things, then you can make yourself clothes and also medicine too.
Well, of course, the most ancient economies were based on barter as a unit of currency, so I think it's a much healthier way to organise the economy.
I'm thinking something about building relationships, that if you build relationships and community and you move away from the independent model, then you're less likely to consume. Thank you.
The major problem we have in any form of society is debt. Debt is caused simply because the reserve banks, who are owned by a group of 10 people from Jerusalem, seek to enslave the world. The country of Australia, simply by issuing its own note, can of course resolve all debt problems within society.
The world's gotten so big, overpopulation, so little nature left, and we're still aiming to grow. And if we've gone too far and need to come back, let's work less. Awesome. Let's not have so much of those kinds of development, and work less and hang out and share and not need all this stuff. All we need to do is work less development will save the nature. The work that we do, let's find ways to have most of the work in environmental stuff, helping the environment, and nice things for people too.
All the environmental accounting was actually done by a guy called Buckminster Fuller back in the 1950s, a profound vision as far as economics are concerned. He basically worked out that it's far better for the environment and for the world for the governments to pay everybody $100,000 a year to stay at home, because the cost of going to work is far in excess of damage and going to work.
But then what's the value of money?
And so in other words, what you do is you free society, because the government says, hey, stay at home, this is free, it's all for free. And that, of course, is the fight. It's Buckminster Fuller, a profound problem. 1950s, because everyone stole his ideas, right, and suppressed it, but his reality will come true. It's cheaper to stay at home, we'll give you money, we'll give you food, your house, because of course, we've taken ownership of the land away. Once you take the ownership of the land off the throne of England, because they stole it in the first place, and put it back to no ownership, and proclaim it's free.
Because as the currency system has evolved through history, it's turned into a tool of domination by a tiny clique who use it to control the vast majority of the species. So let's reorganise the whole currency system to restructure it to be sane and equitable and sustainable for the whole planet, including all ecosystems and all beings on the planet, not just man and his insane, greedy financial system, which has just blown itself up. Ergo, it's a fantastic time to reconfigure the whole paradigm and bring in a totally new root and branch reform from the bottom up that's sane and sustainable.
Jubilee time, what does Jubilee say? It's fine. The land will now return to him who gave it, which is the creator of the universe. And so man has no rights whatsoever.
Thus we don't need money.
Thus we don't need money, because man has no rights, because he has responsibilities, he's responsible in the world as well. He's ruined the world, so therefore you have nothing at all whatsoever. So therefore everything has to return to he or she who gave it. And as a consequence, man will be set free. This is the end of the epoch.
I've got a public habit to announce. It's come up, it's smoking. Cigarettes. Been smoking cigarettes, and I want to stop and I don't take the pack, but then somehow I do. And in this conversation I've just wondered, is money an addiction?
It is only an addiction when you are in prison, and the only way you can satisfy yourself is becoming a slave unto it. You understand?
Oh, it's a sick addiction of mine.
Well, no, it
used to be.
It was made an addiction because man put a gravestone around our necks. Because people put a gravestone around our necks. And so we're addicted to the happiness which it buys. But in a perfect world, there is no gravestone and there's no need to look, so consequently there's no need to have money. And so woman is set free.
Yeah, but it is useful too, like in terms of in a profit-based system.
You have to
you can do, if you've got heaps of money, you can do anything you want.
Look at microcredit.
Really.
Microcredit sets people.
What do you guys think about this?
My first reaction would be that it is an addiction. Because in a lot of societies, people have enough to survive quite easily. Not all societies in the world, but they keep pushing, they keep wanting more money, doing lots of things to get it. And maybe what they get from it is more of an addiction. I don't know.
It simply relates to the age-old proverb. It was never money is the root of all evil, nor is it the love of money which is the root of all evil. Money is profoundly important as a method of transfer. Money is not evil, but it is the greed for money which is evil. As Gandhi said, there is enough in the world for everybody's need, but there's not enough for everybody's greed. This is our problem. Nature's provided these things. In forests, there's an abundance of everybody, in freedom. The birds and the sparrows, they go to work, they simply just live. Okay?
I think by sharing everything, we all have more.
Yes. Of course we do. We have to. As I see it as your life.
If we share everything.
Yeah, I mean, then you profit more.
Nice people give things away.
And then you see it into her life.
Other people. Maybe it can be relatable to abolishing slaves. Some people would have been, yeah, and other people would be, no,
of course
you do this. Could get pretty hard towards the end. I imagine the abolishment of slavery.
The abolishment of slavery sounded very good. Well, it was very tough, but it freed men. But what happened is it allowed all mankind to become slaves, black and white. And that's what it was about. Although it sounds good to free the slaves, but what we've done is that we've allowed Black African, for example, Afro-Americans come into the workforce, so we can now tax you 38% of what you earn through illegal taxation. So man is an incredible slave. It's not the land of the free and brave and married, it's the land of the depraved and enslaved. They think they're free, but they're into slavery within that country.
I think it's kind of like a tier structure. They've got these people at the top, the kings and queens. I think all around the world, you've got these different sort of levels of people who make decisions. And how is this structured? And is it structured for them to take? Or a structure, maybe an alternative structure?
We have to develop a sustainable, steady state, stable economy. For instance, like the Aborigines had, they didn't use more than they needed, they recycled, and the environment could have gone on forever under that steady state economy, under the insane greed machine of consumer capitalism. It's a train wreck heading downhill, and it's just had a major derailment. So we're going to put the train back on the tracks to go on the same route to disaster, or are we going to build a new railroad and a totally new system for a new economy, hopefully for a sustainable future?
The wealth of any individual depends upon who he is, not what he has. The wealth of society depends upon the wealth of the individual. So in other words, if I aspire to be a doctor, I become the best doctor possible. I just aspire to become the best mechanic, I become the best mechanic possible. And as a consequence, I am a great value to society, and I'm also a great value to myself. I'm a very wealthy man because I'm a very good doctor, for example. So therefore you would come to me for medical advice. But of course, if you were growing oranges, you would grow oranges to perfection. So when I, the doctor, need some oranges, we would exchange services. It's very simple. So my value is in myself, and the virtues which I hold, which become profoundly important, which I proffer unto you, and you would buy my services simply because I would like to have your oranges. So man must perfect his wisdom, and in that is all prosperity. Man is wise, he's prosperous. I can do with money.
A research thing on what is money and what is law, what is all these kind of things. Who was it designed by and why? Were they nice people or were they selfish people? Maybe, and then in terms of being a proactive idea, find nice infrastructures, create somehow nice infrastructures, maybe multiple different kinds, and then those can be the communities where the people live. How else can we help people not need money?